So I think the best way to learn how to flip houses is to talk to people who have actually done it, but not just people who have done it, people that have done it and made real money from it. There are so many pitfalls that you need to avoid when you're flipping houses. And because I've flipped over 250 houses, actually the number today is 272 houses to date, that's been my career. I can show you what they are. I can show you where they are. And I can actually tell you each and every single thing I failed at, which is, I think, where my knowledge came from. So many failures. Watch to the end of this video, and I'm gonna give you the number one piece of advice for any new flipper, the number one piece of advice. So the first thing that you really need to understand, if you're gonna get into house flipping, you gotta understand this. This seems logical, but a lot of people don't do this, especially right now. All the money you're ever gonna make in a flip is made when you buy the house. The money on a flip is made on the buy. It's not made on the sell. It doesn't matter how nice you make it. It doesn't matter the fixtures you put in. It doesn't matter how beautiful the kitchen is. I mean, all those are factors, but the money that you're gonna make is only made on the buy. If you pay too much for the house, if you get too excited, or you start getting in bidding wars, or all these things, you go through wholesalers and they're marking it up and another wholesaler's marking it up, all the money's gone in the deal the second you bought it. It doesn't matter how nice you make it, you're dead in the water. Because the price is the price is the price. The only thing that's gonna move the end price is the market. And you know what? I got bad news for you. This is 2023. Price of real estate is actually going down. So if you wanna make money in real estate, you better get really good at this first lesson. And that is, find out how to buy the properties at very low prices. You gotta basically steal the property. I don't mean that literally, but you gotta get the house really cheap. And you got to know how to run the numbers, and you got to know how to negotiate the deal to get there. That's the first thing I will tell you. And please don't forget that, because the second you make that mistake where you start buying houses because you get the excitement of, oh, I'm going to make it beautiful, I'm going to put a kitchen in, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to put this wall in. None of that matters if you overpay for the property. The second thing I learned can be traced all the way back to my very first flip in 2006. It was this rickety old farmhouse out in this small little literally farm town called Gasport, New York. And I bought it because a realtor brought it to me and said, oh, this is a beautiful little cute house. And, you know, it was the right price. So I bought the house. And let me just kind of tell you a little bit about how I bought it. So prior to this house, the only real estate I'd ever bought was my primary residence. And I bought my primary residence with an FHA mortgage. Now, do any of you know how that works? That means, in most cases, you only need to come out of pocket 5%. So that first house I bought, I think I paid $105,000 for it. I had to come out of pocket 5%. So literally like a little over $5,000. And that's all I knew about mortgages. I thought, all right, well, great. So when I found this flip and it was brought to me, the first thing I did is I went to the same bank where I got my house mortgage. And I said, hey, I'm buying this house. We're going to flip it. We're going to make all this money. I put it all together on paper and I submitted it. And I remember everything went through and I got the pre-approval came back. And I was so excited. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to get a mortgage. Now remember, I want you to go back to that first house. All I needed was 5% down on that first house. They came back and gave me the pre-qual and I'm going through the numbers and I stopped at the down payment. I read by it and I came back to it and I'm like, wait a second, hold on, my eyes I must need glasses. I looked at it again and I'm like, something's wrong. Something's way freaking wrong. I call the bank mortgage broker and I say, hey, listen, I think you screwed the numbers up a little bit. See, we're taking a mortgage out for this house, but this down payment thing you got here, like when I bought my house, I only needed to come up with 5%. Like, what is this 20% nonsense? And the mortgage broker laughed and said, well, hey, this isn't your primary residence. This is a non-owner occupied property, which means to get a mortgage, you have to come up with 20% out of pocket. I'm like, oh, yeah, that. Okay, got it. Shit, I don't have 20%. You see, I went into this first flip not knowing anything about flipping houses. I had watched a TV program where the guy on the program had flipped a house in 23 minutes and made 40-some thousand bucks. And I'm like, well, I could do that. So here I am. I'm trying to buy this house and now I got to find 20%. So what did I do? All right. So I went to my 401k and I took a loan from the 401k, which got that property. Now I got this property. And the best day on any flip is demo day. But this is my first demo day. I had a sledgehammer and a crowbar, man. Set me out. Let me at it. What did I do? I went in and just started breaking shit. I took walls down. I took ceilings down. I wish I had video of this, because when all this stuff's there, I'm probably standing, and I know it. I was standing in just a pile of rubbish with a big smile on my face being like, yeah, day one, look at, I demoed this entire room. You see, I never really even thought about like, hey, I got to put all this back together. And I never really thought too much about like, hey, what's all this going to cost? Like, how much is it going to cost to put drywall back up and mud it and paint it? But I'm going to paint it myself. And oh crap, I never thought that we got to put recessed lights in here. So that's electrical. I don't know how to do electrical. So yeah, there was so much I didn't know. Now, some of you are laughing. You're thinking I'm an idiot. But the thing I'm going to go back to is when I started out, I started with traditional knowledge. I didn't know how mortgages worked. Didn't really know how I was going to get the money. I figured it out. I stumbled my way through. It took me about a year, and then I ended up putting it on the market. It didn't sell, so I rented it out for another year, and then I ended up selling it to that person. And we profited a massive $8,000. And I was supposed to make 40, and I made 8, but I did it. Now, I would never go back and do that. I would always take commercial mortgages out, not mortgages in my own personal name. I know it's 20%. I'd probably get private lenders to do the entire deal so that I could fund the rehab. I would have done all the math before, and I would have done pro formas to find out like how much money am I going to make. I don't know. I probably used a napkin on that one, just jotted it all down. But hey, some of you might start that same way. But please don't be surprised when things don't work out like they didn't work out for me. I was lucky to actually make $8,000. You might lose $8,000 or maybe $80,000. Don't put yourself in that situation. The third thing that I quickly learned was leverage. I learned quickly after that mortgage, I learned how to leverage other people's money. You see, I started saying, okay, I don't have the resources, but I'm going to get resourceful, because folks, it's never about your actual resources. It's about how resourceful you can be. So once I got resourceful, I started taking my deals, putting together deal sheets, which was photos, specs about the deal, numbers about the rehab, what we were going to do. And then I would basically do a mock-up of how much money we were going to make. But then I would also do a mock-up of how much money the other person was going to make, whether that other person was a joint venture or just a private lender. And I'll never forget that first one we did with somebody else's money. It was cool. Instead of going to the bank, I now had a private lender, and they gave me all the money to not only buy the property, but also do the rehab. I didn't demo the whole place. I'd learned my lesson on that. But the cool part I did learn with this whole experience is I learned that leveraging other people's money when they have money and they want to make more money was really good, because it allowed me to actually get the job done faster. It allowed me to hire the right people, and it allowed me to then make more money, because speed is money in flipping. The faster you can get it done, the better off you are. And you're going to get it done faster if you got the right people with the right skill sets to get it done. You got the electricians, you got the plumbers, you got the demo crew, you got the painters, you got the flooring crew, and I can go on. Everybody has their role. And when you coordinate it, it goes pretty smooth. There's always going to be upsets. There's always going to be things when you go to take a wall down, or you go to put a kitchen in, things come up. And those are unforeseens. But you know what? If you're working with the right people because you got the money to hire the right people, because you learned how to leverage other people's money, things got easier. Number 4, hire slow and fire fast. And what am I referring to? Contractors. Don't just hire the first contractor that says, oh, I can do this house. It's going to be $40,000. They come, they do a walkthrough. They got like a little, they don't have like a full notepad or like full thing. They've got like one of those little pocket things. And they're just taking little notes, and they get done. And before they even go look at anything, they're like, yeah, I think we can finish this. Probably get it done in 30 days. And I don't know, probably 40 grand is about what it's going to cost us to do this. And you're like, oh my God, yeah. When can you start? Well, my crews are out in the car right now, so we can start right now. Stop. That's not the guy you want to hire. Now, how do I know that? I had one of those. His name was Dan. Great guy. But that's what he did. He didn't even have that little piece of paper. He'd just come in and it'd all be in his head. He'd be like, yep, all right, we'll do this. Yeah, that'd be cool. I like that idea. All right, 40 grand. Yeah, cool. We can be done in 30 days. Do you think he ever finished a house in 30 days? Never. Do you think he ever finished a house on budget? No, never. But you know what he always wanted? More money. Hey, you think you can get me a draw today? Well, what did you do? Well, I need money to go do this and that, and I need to buy materials. It was always money, 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 money. And then some jobs at the end never got done. He just left with the money. Lesson learned. So hire slow and fire fast. Multiple experts instead of one. Now, what do I mean by that? Just like I said a second ago, that one guy, that Dan, said he could do everything. but he wasn't a licensed electrician, wasn't a licensed plumber, really was a terrible mudder. He could put drywall up pretty quick. He could lay floors. He could do all the stuff. But you know what? None of it was done with permits. When I asked him about permits, he's like, oh, don't even worry about that. Like, we'll have this closed up before anyone even gets here. I'm like, oh, all right. But this is in the beginning. What you want is you want multiple experts. You want specialists. You want people that do what they do. Like a plumber. What do they do? Plumbing. What else? How about painters? What do they do? Paint. What do flooring people do? Flooring. What do electricians do? Put lights in. They do electrical work. Hire experts instead of trying to find a one jack of trade that does it all. It will never end well. And number 5, I experimented with different types of agreements and different terms and different interests and different things like joint ventures, splitting the profit because it seemed easier. Well, because as we got doing this, we got up to the point where we were doing 20 some houses a month. It was pure insanity. We had 2 project managers. It was nutty times. But during this, I was able to experiment all sorts of with different things. Joint ventures where we'd bring a partner in on the deal. They'd share in the profit on the back end and they'd bring the money. But because they brought the money, it was cool because now I had the money to finish the deal and then I didn't have to make monthly payments because that cash flow started to kill me as I started doing more and more properties. So the joint venture model seemed to work well, but now you've got another set of eyes, another voice, somebody else telling you what to do, how to do it. And we try to say, hey, listen, let us do our part. You just put your money in and we'll split the profits. But there was problems there. So I experimented with them. I experimented with interest-only loans, which I loved. Still to today, those are the best ones. So if somebody funds the deal, they fund the rehab, you give them a note, you give them first position mortgage, and they give you the money and you just pay monthly payments to them. Now that's perfect until you can't make those monthly payments. I experimented with these different things. I'm not saying you should. Find one that works really well for you based on the real estate that you're doing. We're specifically talking about flipping. So I will tell you in flipping, you can experiment with interest-only loans, with private lenders. And you can go to privatemoneyclub.com. That's the best place to find these types of lenders because that's what Private Money Club is. It's a community of lenders, private lenders, and borrowers. You're either a borrower or you're a lender. That's it. So you can go on there and you can experiment and talk to different lenders and find out how they want to lend money. But I've always found that doing an interest only worked best. But sometimes I would structure the note so that all the interest was paid on the back end. Because where do you make money on a flip? You're paying attention. On the buy. But where's the other place where you actually realize the money you're going to make? When you sell it and you get paid. So if I just pay out all the interest when the property sells, I didn't have to come out of pocket during that period when we were renovating it. Sometimes that made it work better. So what I'm trying to say is there's all sorts of different things that you can do when you're getting into real estate and getting into flipping, but you got to experiment. I've experimented over 250 times so that you don't have to. So real quick, let's just recap these. The first thing that I found as a flipper that really is the most important thing, and I probably should have made this the last one, like that number 1 thing, the money in any flip is made on the buy, not the sell. The second thing I found out is that traditional financing, traditional mortgages may not be the best source to fund your flips. The third thing that I quickly learned is how to leverage other people's money, private lenders, hard money lenders. I learned how to use that. I learned how to leverage that, and I learned how to get through my deals more efficiently because the way that I was financing them. This was a really hard lesson, but I learned to hire slow and fire fast when it came to contractors. I learned to have experts instead of one jack of all trades, right? That helped me the most. And when I figured that out, my jobs went a lot smoother. My project managers loved me. And, well, actually, they're the reason we did this. But that helped a ton. And you need to do that from day one. The fifth thing, I experimented with all sorts of different agreements. I experimented with different terms. I experimented with joint ventures. The best one I found was interest-only loans, whether they're paid monthly interest or all the interest is put on the back end when you sell the deal. Folks, these 5 little simple things will really save you a lot of time, help you make more money and spend less, and really just keep your sanity so that your hair doesn't turn gray like mine did. Folks, go out there and flip smart and be really careful in this market. This is 2023. Just remember, the markets are pulling back right now. So when you're buying, you better buy even cheaper to account for the markets going down. If you liked this video, then make sure you subscribe to this channel below. Click that subscribe button and why don't you hit that little bell right up here? Smash that bell so that you're alerted every time we put a new video up. And while you're at it, check this video out. Would you rather invest in real estate or in a business?